What's going on, guys? Phoenix here again. So in today's video we're gonna talk about the biggest problem for beginner filmmakers. Before we begin, if you haven't seen my last short film, please go watch it because it's really interesting and I've been working a lot for that one. So I will have the link in the description for you to watch it. The biggest problem for beginner filmmakers, and not only filmmakers, photographers, musicians, anything that has to do with art and all that stuff. So the biggest problem is that they are trying to do too much too soon. And that is a problem because you need to take things step by step and learn along the process, because you might have watched thousands of videos, you might have studied a lot, you might have read a lot, I don't know, but it's different studying and watching videos and tutorials and all that than doing it yourself. If you haven't done it yourself, then you don't have the experience that's needed. And especially in filmmaking, if you haven't shot anything yourself, if you haven't edited anything, if you haven't been part of the process, it's really hard to just get into it and, you know, create a big project and work on a big project immediately. Okay, I'm gonna tell you a story now. A few months back, about 6-7 months ago, a friend of mine, he decided that he liked filmmaking and he liked, you know, all the process and all, but he hadn't really done anything. He said he had watched a lot of videos. He had an idea about a film, a short film, like 15 minutes or something like that. And he hit me. He hit me up and said, "Hey, you know, I'm gonna make this film and all," but he wanted to buy a new camera. And at that point, I just had bought my DSLR, which only costed like 300 to 400 pounds at the time. And which is, I wanted to buy the camera. You know, it wasn't like a decision like, oh, I'm gonna buy a camera and, you know, just bought a camera. So this guy, he has never shot anything. Let's call him Rick. So Rick, my friend Rick, then he decided he wanted to shoot a short film. So Rick goes ahead and, without, you know, ever using a camera, without ever doing anything, without ever being part of a filmmaking process, without anything, he straight up goes and buys a 5D Mark IV, I think, which is a camera that I'm gonna put the camera in here. It's an expensive camera. But the biggest problem was that he himself had never done any of this, and back then I didn't know half the things that I know now about the filmmaking process and all, because I've done a few short films on my own, and for my last short film it took me a very long time to edit together, to, you know, to think all, and, you know, all the process. So, and it's only a minute and a half. Imagine if you want to do something 15 minutes with actors, you know, like extras and all that. He wanted, for a scene, because I saw his like script, it wasn't really a script, but like more of like an idea. He wanted to have like 20 extras or something. He wanted to shoot in a bar or something, and I'm like, okay, those things are great. I love those things, you know, but you can't just go. So straight up he buys this camera, and without lenses or anything. So after that he buys a couple lenses. So at this point he has spent like 5,000 or something, which is crazy amounts of money for someone who has never done anything. So Rick then starts shooting his film, and early on in the process he started making beginner level mistakes which he couldn't see, and I tried to like help and everything. He started making mistakes. He didn't know anything. At this point he had spent a lot of money and all that. So at some point he had to stop because, you know, no one would help him, and you couldn't pay people and all that, so the whole process became really stressful and all that. So he said maybe I will start raising money for, you know, like fundraiser or something, which then things had gotten out of hand. Like, I mean, he had to stop. So all I'm trying to say is you need the experience and you need to take things slowly. You don't have to go, you don't have to make the next Avengers in, you know, in a month or something. So that's the biggest, I think, the biggest thing you can learn from this video is, and this applies to, as I said, photographers, musicians, or anything. Just take things step by step. Remember, guys, the filmmaking process doesn't have to be stressful, it doesn't have to be difficult, it has to be fun and learning things and enjoying while doing it. Don't worry about gear, don't worry about buying things, don't worry about all that. Use whatever you have and just make things and create things, because nothing is gonna be perfect, so it's better than doing nothing. So keep doing your videos, your films, your anything. And thank you very much for watching this video. Leave a like if you enjoy it, subscribe if you already haven't, and go check out my last short film, and I will see you in the next one.